All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. It's me, Daniel, with VintageMagic.com. My last day here at Disneyland, and I wanted to thank everybody at GPLA 2018. I had a good opportunity to meet some of you guys. And I wanted to thank everyone who's been watching the videos. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. It is Motivation Monday. I've done a few of these now, and today's topic is about time. Time. Sometimes in time you change the way you feel about certain things. I'll start the video like this. I was raised as a person in my family who we really did not celebrate a lot of holidays. Didn't really get a chance, really didn't get an opportunity to enjoy Disneyland or other things. My Aunt Jenny, she was actually the one that took us out to do a lot of different things. My mom, was not really into those things. She wasn't celebratory. We never really, we did birthdays. I think, in fact, birthday and Christmas, I was able to get one video game for each of those holidays, for those times, and really didn't decorate the house. We didn't do much. So those memories and time we have had, I never really had, but in time, I've learned to appreciate. What the hell? Oh, I did buy this, okay? This is for myself, right? I'm just kidding, it's for my wife. But look, the point of the video, guys, of this is I really had a great opportunity this trip. I spent a lot of time with my family, and I want you guys this Monday to consider, most of the people watching these videos are guys. And I want to tell you, as a guy, I totally get it. Sometimes your wife, your girlfriend, your children, they like to do these things that probably are not the same interest, but that's okay. You'll learn that over time, being in my later 30s, that you start appreciating, what they like, and also the quality time that you have with them is so much more important than anything, any money could buy, anything else. In addition, I was also able to, we hired a babysitter yesterday. My wife and I spent pretty much the whole entire day, going to dinner, but we also, in the beginning of the day, we went to Laguna Beach and looked at some of the art galleries there, that art festival, and it was just her and I, and it was nice because there was no kids. And I also will tell you, as a husband, that if you are watching this video, I would consider spending some quality time just with your wife. You know how often you do the daily grind and you basically, it's the kids, it's all about the kids, but the truth of the matter is, really important to understand is that your wife, Minnie, is very important in your life. You need to consider putting some more time into taking her on a date. May it be just a simple hour or two. Maybe ask your parents, ask your friends with kids, whatever works. Maybe some time at nighttime works too. But whatever it is, you got to find some time just with your significant other. Because if you don't prioritize the relationship with each other and spend quality time with each other, the relationship will not work. In the end, you'll start distancing yourself from each other. Just like her and I have, we both have our own careers, and it, automatically puts distance between the relationship, right? And if it's all about just the kids and you don't focus on each other, it causes a lot of stress. So I will say that it is probably one of the most difficult things to do, but as you realize, it's probably it is the most important thing to do, because women really appreciate quality time. Women really appreciate time spent together. I'm not saying men don't appreciate it, but I'm saying especially women, they really appreciate time with their spouse. Their brains work differently. I think men are obviously born, built to more, build a career, provide for their family. But if you spend quality time with your wife, your significant other, it adds a lot of positivity and, more passion to the relationship. So, I will speak to time as this. There's a saying goes, time is money, right? Money is time. And that's what happens when you end up growing your career. in your career, you end up realizing that the money that I'm making, I'm just basically trading for time. Time with my family. Maybe I get a babysitter, I pay them to then have time with my wife or time, doing an outing. It's a trade-off, right? Or you might hire a landscaper or something that basically does the hard labor that you're not really good at anyway and efficient with, and that's a trade-off of time. So you realize that the money that you're making is a trade-off in time. And the time you use that you have free time is very important. And as you get older, you start valuing, the saying goes like you really push and put your nose to the grindstone and work really hard, really young and build a career, which is true, but a lot of us do that. But don't forget that the time you spend into something, investing in your career, investing into things, you also trade off from other things that you could have been spending time with. I look back at this, I don't really regret anything on my life, but I look back at, one area is that I wish I would have spent more time with my family as I was building my career, because a lot of times I would just make a lot of excuses and I just would say, hey, I'm busy, I have other things going on. Basically, I wouldn't say that, my career is more important, but I basically acted that way. So if you're a younger person, think about this. Like those moments that you have, I know you're busy with your career, trying to go to Las Vegas and meet with clients or go golfing. I would recommend just considering some self-reflection, some time for yourself also, and looking at, reorganizing things in your life, reorganizing priorities, because you'll find that a lot of things you do are just for yourself at the young age, and if you just take a little bit of time for the family, it changes things a lot. All right, so I've been asked the question also, time in business. It's a very, very good topic, and I will leave it at this kind of thought process because I've been trying to think about how I'll approach this. Time in business, to me, is both ways. I think a lot of people know the saying, the customer is always right. And you have to understand, as the vendor side or the seller side, that's true. However, if the buyer is wasting your time, you need to be able to talk to them in a professional way and advise them that, hey, my time is valuable. I like to get to the bottom of what you're trying to do. A lot of people, a scenario happens a lot is like people want to sell you their cards. So this happens a lot in magic in general. If people are trying to sell you their cards and they're saying, hey, can I get a quote? Hey, can I get some kind of pricing on this or whatever? Hey, is this real, counterfeit? Over the years, my business has been growing and I don't have time to do it for free. I'm happy to do it if I'm at a show or quick glance or whatever, but in general, I charge about $150 an hour now if you want an appraisal or some type of valuation, whatever, and it rises based on what you're looking to do. Now, some people are like, well, dude, Dan, it's just, it's basically, like easy for you to do. You're an expert at this. It's quick. Why am I paying for it? Other people don't pay for it. I understand other people that may not pay for it, but in my business, in my time is valuable. People's time is valuable. So if you start looking at, and I'm always all about getting deals and free stuff here and there, but you need to consider the question, is that person's time valuable, and I should respect their time and ask them in a way that make them feel, hey, look, I value your time. If there's a fee or something, let me know what it is up front. And if I can afford it, I'll pay it, right? Don't assume that things are always free, because unless it's advertised free all the time, then it's probably not free. And also their time is never free, but people never, that's why people always say, hey, I emailed Rudy 1,000 times about this thing, or I emailed you about this, and I try to respond to all the emails as fast as I can, but it definitely gets boggled up. But Rudy, for example, is so well known, so he's famous in his community, and he doesn't have time to go and answer every email all the time, especially when you're basically asking for free advice and you're not willing to offer anything in return. Don't get offended by that in business, because what we're talking about here is you're trading his time from something he could be working, thus producing income for his family. That's very important to understand. Do not take personal offense to responses as, hey, it's going to be a charge. It's going to cost you $150 an hour. It's going to be a consulting time. But remember, the value of that time with that individual is worth something. That information you receive, that one-on-one, no like external forces, no one bothering you, that type of one-on-one relationship with that person is more valuable in many cases than just getting some free information on the fly. I'm telling you, your investment of time to your own development as a business person is probably one of the most overlooked things in business development. I'm telling you that most people are not willing to look in the mirror and see what's going on with themselves, how things are going, and if the things I can change about myself, if the things I can change about my business, and things I can change about the way I present things and do things. If you're a person also that spends a lot of time in your traditional business making offers and proposals to people, but no one ever responds, or if you're in the magic industry, you offer like this price or etc., and you never get the deal. You'll have to realize something very important. This is the hard line I was thinking about not doing, but it's true. No one really they're just shopping with you. They're just wasting your time. They don't want to do business with you necessarily because all they're doing is comparing the price of something else. Most times buyers already know who they want to do business with, but they want to compare the price with some other vendor, and then out of convenience, they already have the person they selected, and they would use your proposal, use whatever your pricing is, to then compare it to someone else and then get a better price from the already internal-minded vendor. That's how it usually works. So keep that in mind. If you're going to give people a bunch of pricing and put something out there, I would recommend this kind of conversation. And this is how I usually approach it. This kind of role play here. Yes, sir, yes, you're looking to sell your cards. Great. So rather than wasting your time and my time, what type of method are you looking for in terms of achieving your prices? And they'll, if they say, well, I'm looking at this buy list or this buy list and this buy list, I go, okay, that's perfect. Because on our buy list, we do match buy list prices and we do give a premium, but I'm gonna need some help from you. Since you have your cards, you have to categorize them, etc., condition. I like you put them in a spreadsheet and then send it to me with comparison of the prices that you're comparing with. This way I can see by apples to apples what I'm competing against and then offer you potentially higher pricing on the cards that I need. And that produces a win-win scenario. See how I presented that? It's a more, hey, I'm asking something of you in a nice way because, also the customer has all the information. Have you ever had a customer ask you, hey, can I just give you these cards and you just tell me what they're worth, and then they don't even bother wanting to sell you the cards? So you did all of that buy list like sorting and categorizing, and they didn't do any business with you. How does that feel as a customer or as a vendor? It makes you feel like I wasted all my time, right? So to eliminate that part of it, and people just wasting the time that you have, or not intentionally wasting, but basically not efficiently using your time, you have to set everything up for success. You have to be willing to put a path of expectations to the customer in the front so they are clear on what to expect and how your policy works. Some customers don't like that, and that's fine. You may lose customers that are just shopping around, but most customers who are truly willing to respect your time and want to get a quote from you, they will do some of the work. I'm not saying that you're like making them do all this crazy hoops and boundaries or whatever. I'm saying that the customer needs to also be aware of your time, and you need to set up expectations. I think that's one of the biggest things that I realized in magic and in business is that, like, when I worked at FedEx in like corporate sales back in the day, the early 2000s, I realized that in our business model at FedEx, they wanted you to submit all these damn proposals all the time. And they actually rated on you, the manager would be like, hey, Dan, how many proposals did you send in? How many proposals did you submit this week? And they actually dinged you if you didn't submit enough proposals. Same way in any other business, right? Just like how many customers did you greet? How many people did you cold call with? Whatever type of business you're in, corporate America measures you on the number of things that you kind of did, because mathematically, X amount of people are theoretically going to buy from you or sign a project if you do X amount of proposals or whatever it is, right? That's not really effective though. Think about this. You're just throwing these proposals. Have you got emails or phone calls from people? Emails about, hey, I can do this for you. I can do this to save you money. Oh, how about those credit cards? Those credit cards that they keep sending you all the time to sign up. Oh, it's flashy 0% or no annual fee. What's all that about? It's because they're just shooting darts on the dartboard, hoping that one of them sticks and lands on the bullseye. And that you will call them, you'll call them as a call to action, and then they will then sell you, the salesperson on the phone will then sell you because you've already read some information, you've called, you're interested, you're sparked, you're hooked in some fashion. They're just going for volume. There's no personalization. There's no effort, right? So, I hope this video kind of touched on how I value my time with my family, how over the years I've grown to change my definition of what time is. And I hope that this video also helped you think about what you do in your business or your life and also connect all that together, because the time that you spend every day working, every single day, clock in, clock out, that time is a trade-off between you and the family. You could be spending more time with your kids, your wife, your significant, whatever. And you could basically be doing that than selling magic cards or working more hours. All right, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the Motivation Monday. Have a great week. Talk to you guys soon.